Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Yes, I know it's been several weeks since we posted any new content, but we do have a simple explanation. Quite honestly, we've been busier than ever. Serious, this is turning out to be our best year yet, and although it's taken us 6 years to get to this point, it truly is nice to see things start to fall in place. But I do have a promise I need to uphold, and that is creating content that you're asking for. And in today's video, we're responding to another one of your questions, and this one comes all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. Do you have any advice for an aspiring club fitter who's thinking about branching out on his own, and what does it really take to become a Golf Digest Top 100 club fitter? Well, there's a lot to unpack here, and the quick answer is crawl, walk, run. It really does happen with time and experience, but I did put pen to paper and I come up with a short list of some core principles that I think will be helpful. And this is something I like to refer to as the 7 laws of club fitting. So without further delay, let's jump in. The first one has to deal with understanding what your limitations are within the club fitting boundary, so this way you can manage the customer's expectations throughout the fitting process. And really what I'm referring to is we know as we introduce gear changes throughout the fit process, we're only really ever going to be able to influence somebody's delivery by 3 or 4 degrees in either direction. So as an example, if I have a customer that's got a nasty ass slice and their path is 12 degrees out to in and the face is open 12 degrees the other way, 24 degrees of total separation, there's no golf club in the world that's going to solve that problem. So in that scenario, unless I can offer a couple tips or suggestions to get the customer to meet us half the way, press pause on the fit and steer the customer down the pathway of working with a swing coach to get the technique a little bit better and then come back and see us. So it's always a good idea to have a couple of coaches that's in your area that you can refer your clients to. So this way they're not leaving empty-handed and they're going to be like, well, now where do I start? They already know where to go, and more importantly, if you can take the data and arm them with what they're struggling with, that's really going to give the swing coach, a jump start. So definitely understand what your limitations are and manage those expectations and you won't go wrong. The second club fitting law comes down to not ignoring the data. And although this may seem like a no-brainer because we know all good club fitters will hang their hat on what the launch monitor is telling them, you would be surprised of how many club fitters that is out there that will not look at all of the data points as the fit progresses. There's a pretty good chance they'll get locked in on what the shot outcome is doing and trying to get the ball in the ideal launch window, that perfect apex, and finding that best spin number to help the customers hit the ball farther. But as they are introducing changes throughout the fitting, they forget to look at the delivery side of the fence. And here is, without question, the most important aspect. Because what good does it for a customer to be able to hit that 300-yard drive 1 out of 5 times if they can't repeat the shot consistently? So as I'm introducing changes through the fitting process, I am looking at how those changes is negatively impacting the delivery side. So anytime I see any one of those delivery columns start to go all over the map, do I know that that change I just introduced isn't a good change? So I want to tighten it up, get it nice and consistent, and once I'm able to do so, will the customer have a better chance of hitting that 300-yard drive? 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. So just remember that there's 2 sides of the fence, and making sure that anytime we make changes, it can negatively or positively impact those numbers at any moment. The next club fitting law is my biggest pet peeve, and I see a lot of club fitters break this cardinal sin all of the time. And what I'm talking about is make sure you lead with the how and why before presenting a recommendation. As an example, Don't close the fitting by telling the customer the TaylorMade driver is the best thing since sliced bread and is going to give you the greatest opportunity to hit 300-yard bombs. Start with the how and why and help them understand why that TaylorMade driver is helping them achieve the results they are seeing. Get into the nuances of the TaylorMade driver itself. What's so unique about this head versus everybody else? Why is it standing apart? Does it have unique design characteristic? Does it have a specific CG location? And how does the head, shaft, and grip all complement one another to help the customer hit it 300 yards? Because if you can truly help the customer understand how and why something is working, the recommendation then just becomes a byproduct. So lead with the how and why, and there's a pretty damn good chance the customer is going to have more faith and trust in the recommendation you're providing. Tip number 4 is take more breaks. Because there is such a thing called a shot clock, and at some point during a fitting session, your customers will tucker out. And generally speaking, it's right around that 70 to 80 shot threshold that we will see that impacts even some of the best players that come through our studio. So if you take more breaks throughout the fitting session, you give your customers an opportunity to recharge and catch their breath, so to speak. And one of the easiest ways to do this is give them an opportunity. Would you like something to drink? Or let's take a look at the numbers and see how that last combination actually did for you, opposed to them approaching the fitting session no different than a driving range session.
That's great.
That's what it should not be. And here we want to give them the combinations, have them hit 4 or 5 shots, and then let's talk about it. Help them understand the why and the how as the fit progresses, and you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The 5th law is nothing is ever black and white within the club fitting industry. Now, this one took me several years to realize, but the very minute I threw out the playbook, stopped following all the cookie cutter recommendations, or more importantly, putting a label on my customer just because they swung it so fast or a specific way, were I able to take my skills to another level. So if I thought the customer needed to go into a softer shaft, I might put them in a stiffer shaft just to see how it affects them. And if I try the stiffer shaft and opposed to gradually progressing through the fitting matrix, little increments at a time, I might go to the other end of the spectrum and go from stiff to soft. Because the one thing that we cannot predict is how a customer is going to respond to any given combination we put in their hands. So if you're not afraid to color outside of the lines and deviate from the script, will you be able to find a little more success? The 6th club fitting law is become a trusted advisor. You need to understand you're not there to sell golf clubs. You heard me loud and clear. Your job is to solve problems. That's the real reason why the customer walked through your doors in the first place. They are struggling with certain aspects of their game, and they need your assistance to identify what those pain points are, so that way we can find something to help them eliminate those. And if you can do this and let that be your focus, will you be able to earn their trust to gladly entertain any recommendation you put forward? So once again, solve the problems and let the recommendation become more of a byproduct, and you'll never sell a golf club a day in your life. Bringing it all home, we save the best for last. Create an experience your customers will remember. Guys, if I don't leave you with anything else, please hear me loud and clear on this one. You get one opportunity to earn a customer for life. If you treat that first fitting session as your audition, that's your one opportunity to hit it out of the park and make a lasting impression. I guarantee you won't look at your fittings the same way. So give that customer your undivided attention for a full 60 to 90 minutes. bring them along for the ride and help them understand what's going on as the fit progresses. So as you swap in and out of combinations, help them understand the how and the why. And if you do these things, I can promise you at the conclusion of the fit, not only will you establish a bond and connection with the customer, but you will have successfully taken them on a ride that they've never been on before, and it's one they're likely going to want to repeat. So we truly hope you found value with the information we shared with you today. And whether or not if you're an inspiring club fitter like Richard, or if you want to use the information to help you get the most out of the club fitting experience, we're here to help. So if you have any questions or comments, do us a favor. Just leave them in the remarks below and we'll do our very best to help you find the answers to the questions you're searching for. So until next week, don't forget to take a look at one of these videos over here, because who knows, one of those videos just might be able to help you on your golfing journey. So until next time, thanks for watching.